Hello and welcome to another episode of Carrots and Cookies. Jesus is huge on the screen in front of me, and we are creators of it. And I almost say it wrong, which is good. We start this one with little bit of a smile, a little bit of a laugh. As usual, I am accompanied by my fellow co-host Esutick, lovely as always, and I will let Esutick present our new guest today. Well, I'm just gonna say hello and welcome to our little podcast.
Yes, and we have our lovely guest over here. Well, I'm just going to let them do the introduction, so the stage is yours.
Hello, I'm ItsJustToe, Warframe creator, lover of everything Mass Effect, and Final Fantasy streamer.
Immediately, I have a question. Did you guys meet through Final Fantasy? Because I know Esutick is absolutely in love with the whole franchise.
Yeah,
I was gonna say no, Mass Effect, obviously.
I didn't see anybody from Mass Effect, from Final Fantasy on my normal list, so I went in search of one and saw Esu was playing on the same server that I was on, so I popped into her stream and somehow she put glue on the seats and I haven't left.
She does that. That's true. That's how we all stay there. It's not because how cool the content is and relaxing. It's all about the glue. I love it.
It's all about the glue. God damn it, I'm exposed to here.
But see, this is awesome. I didn't actually know because I did check your channel obviously a little bit, and all the links are in the description. So guys, please, if you like what you hear /see, do make sure to click on the links and drop some follows. We'll talk about it later. But I did go and check your channel the moment Esu told me you are willing to join us. And I saw Warframe, and we're going to talk about that a little bit later. I didn't know about the Mass Effect, which might be a little bit of a connecting dot for us. I didn't really play Mass Effect enough to be a super fan or anything, but I definitely play some space games, and like that genre in general is something very dear to me. I've been streaming Star Citizen for a long time, still interested in that project, and before that even live I've been playing for such a long time and all that. So that's awesome to hear. I did not even know that.
I tend to play the opposite, Elite Dangerous.
Oh, okay. We have a lot of Elite Dangerous. I did play about 100 hours or so in Elite, which is nothing really. But I always wanted to see. I don't play VR, so for me that was kind of. I'll be honest, the inability to walk around ships when I got spoiled by Star Citizen was very difficult for me to get into ED. But I have huge respect for the game, and I know a lot of creators who either jump ship from one to the other or the other way around, and or doing content for both. And it's always nice to see a comparison. I think these games push each other, all three, to be fair.
Yes.
And I think it's very important for all of them to be healthy as much as they can.
And I've tried both of them, and I'm only very good at yeeting my ship into places they shouldn't be yeeted to, which Jack can testify because he gave me a pretty play toy in Star Citizen, and I completely yeeted that on every side as well.
Pure content. There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, both of these games are very detailed when it comes to actually flying your ships. I think to this day, Elite Dangerous stands for one of the best VR. How do we call that? Six degrees of freedom, ship sim kind of soft sim game, and well regarded by anyone who is playing, any kind of 6 degrees of freedom games, which means you can move your vehicle to any direction. Basically, it's the flight model is so good. Like it's
so
amazing.
Insanely detailed that's one of the reasons why I stopped playing Elite Dangerous, because I can't fucking land my ship. I'm not even kidding. I got stuck on landing the ship. She just wouldn't let me land it. She just kept saying I was doing everything wrong, and after half an hour I got so frustrated she kept yelling at me that I just gave up.
That's why I use a docking computer.
But you still need to fly through the little, the little gate, right? So
Not with a docking computer,
oh,
you
you
don't.
hey,
It
if
does
you
it
have a
for you.
computer, yeah. But that's the best part of the game, though, flying through that
Yeah.
floppy disk.
Yeah.
I absolutely love it. Are you still playing? Are you still playing ED? Are you still streaming it?
I don't stream it as much as what I used to, because of where I am in the game. I think it would make for very boring content because I'm just flying around the outer areas
I see.
where there's nothing going on, just going from planet to planet and scanning.
Just like some exploration gameplay,
Yeah.
charting and whatnot. The absolutely unchartable space
Yes.
because it has the biggest map, I think, in all the games.
Yeah, I went to
ever.
the center of the galaxy twice.
Nice.
Second time by accident.
Wait, by accident? I didn't know. Like,
Yeah.
are there wormholes there or something? I don't know.
No, I just wanted to try out my new drives and carried on going.
Okay. Okay, because I'm I'm not aware of, like, because in EVE Online you can go into a wormhole and then come out somewhere. God knows where. It might be dangerous place and whatnot. But I don't have enough ED experience to know if this is the case or not.
No, there are no wormholes in Elite Dangerous. They used to be in Frontier, but not in ED.
Okay. All right. Sorry for this, but I mean, I had to.
Sorry.
It's all about space.
It's completely fine. It happens. Toe also always exposes the Mass Effect fans that are watching my stream because he's got a character named a specific way. Does not ring a bell for me, but it immediately has someone in chat going like, "Oh, I have a Mass Effect fan. We see a Mass Effect fan."
Nice.
Yeah, the character's name is Talizora Vas Eorzea, whereas in Mass Effect it's Talizora Vas Normandy.
Okay. Do you have like the full? I had a friend. We had him on my Star Citizen podcast, who used to stream, not streaming anymore, unfortunately. Great streamer. Who I remember when Remastered came out, he bought the full pack and he was streaming with that helmet for 10 days. I don't think he's gonna put on his head anytime soon again because it was apparently very hot experience.
Wait, like
Yeah.
an actual real
Yo, the
helmet on
prop,
stream?
yes, like the
Holy
Fallout
shit.
helmet that you would get. So
Yeah.
even better version of like in-game helmet that you would get with, like, I don't know, some crazy package, but whatever.
That's
But he's such a
insane.
super fan that. Do you have a
Wow.
helmet, Toe?
I do not.
Ah,
I would love to buy one, but money is an issue.
I feel you.
I feel
I would be in the exact same situation, but I had to
Yeah.
ask because it's such a cool prop.
Yeah.
not gonna lie, I'd love to have a mask of the game Prey, because that space helmet's just very cool with all the, what are they, octagon shapes? So the whole visor
yeah,
is
yeah.
just a combination of the octagons together. It looks so sick. It looks so cool.
Do they have it as a
Never
prop?
played Prey.
I don't know, but I'm
Okay,
sure
okay,
there's an
okay.
eBayer who makes something,
For
and
sure.
otherwise I just have to get creative myself.
If no one's making it, I would be very surprised. But like masks from space games are very popular in, like, like cosplay world. Like, it's
Yep.
relatively easy to turn like one helmet into another, if that makes sense. Relatively
Yeah.
easy. These people still have insane skill and patience. But yeah,
And 3D printers these days. I have
helps
some
so much.
friends that are Star Wars cosplayers, and they just 3D print all their helmets.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
Wow.
We've come a long way in the future. Speaking of names, one thing that I've always been very curious about is you didn't enter my chat as ItsJustToe, and I
No.
always make a little joke because we call you Toe, but I sometimes call you Toxic. You used to have a different name, and I'm very curious if there is a reason behind your rebrand, and also where the name Toe comes from.
I won't talk about the rebrand.
Hmm.
There was a reason behind it, but it's not something I'll talk about on here.
That's fair. That's fair.
Something happened about 10 years ago, and I had to change my my profile on Xbox. And I was just looking through some, and I found one called Lopsided Toe, which I just decided to take.
That is so cool.
And over the years, after breaking my toe a couple of times, I changed it to broken toe. I've had tungsten toe. I've had neurotic toe. But the thing that's always stayed the same is toe.
The only
It's what,
constant.
yeah, it's what people call me. I mean, at one time I was called Toblerone, but Toblerone reached out to me and said, please change it.
Awesome. This is really crazy. We don't have that many guests yet. We are a relatively new podcast, but we had a person called Mac Attack. I don't know if you remember. And he was flexing his emote here, which is No Toe Hero. And he has a brewing company. I mean, his own. It is No Toe Brewing, if I remember correctly. And it's kind of, he is lacking a toe in real life. And he just decided to go with that as a content creator. And then he's extremely creative with it, because on his channel you can actually redeem No Toe Hero story, and on the spot he will make up a story of saving the world, you know. it's always hilarious. I love it. But this is the second guest. You are the second guest that has a toe story. And funnily enough, one of my, like, I've been playing a lot of sports, some of them kind of on a dangerous side, such as extreme rollerblading and skating, and American football and some other things. I've actually managed to break my toe to a point where they were not sure if they will have to amputate, which would hinder my movement, which I didn't know toes are very important for your balance.
Mm-hmm.
But now I do. But it was completely crushed, and there's so many little, I don't know how to call that. I'm not native in English, obviously. I don't know if any of us are, but basically how I can explain is like many like 20 plus little, but it's not only bones, like fragments in that part of your foot. And that was all jumbled up for me, so they had to like set it up with needles and all that.
Oh damn!
Luckily, it still functions, and I can still run and everything. But I had like cast for almost 6 months. It was very unpleasant experience.
I can imagine.
So toes are very important.
Yeah, meanwhile, all that is going on in my head is I'm still stuck on the Toblerone, and I see the Toblerone package, and instead of the Zermatt mountain, there's just like a huge fucking toe.
Love it. I could have a Toblerone. Okay, so big important question here for both of you. The regular or white Toblerone?
Oh, the white one.
Oh,
but
one.
I'm so weak.
Are you too serious?
Chocolate. I'm so weak for white chocolate. Holy moly. That's like my kryptonite. I go crazy on that shit.
When I was a kid, I was allergic to cocoa, so I couldn't eat chocolate. And so I could eat white one though, which it doesn't taste like chocolate, but okay. And so I'm not a fan of white. I will say Toblerone is probably the best white chocolate out of the commercial ones. It has very distinct taste. Yeah, but the taste is a little bit different. It's a little bit different.
It's not as milky.
Exactly, and I'm
chocolate.
not. Yeah, exactly, and I'm not a big fan of like milk chocolate in general. But the regular Toblerone, oh my god, it's so good. My father, when I was a kid and I was allergic, he would tell all of the family friends that I love chocolate. So for every birthday, they would bring a lot of chocolate, and guess who would eat that?
That's evil.
That's
Yep.
just mean. That's
Yep.
just
That is.
bullying.
Yep.
What the fuck?
Exactly.
I was already gonna ask what god did you piss off that you're allergic to chocolate, but that you
Imagine.
also just have a
He found it to be very funny
bullying.
and lucrative because he lives on chocolate. Nowadays, I can eat chocolate, so it's all fine. Allergies come and go. So
I'm
I was
very
kind of
happy
like,
for you.
yeah, maybe it doesn't help with my current shape and form, but it's tasty. I can't imagine life without chocolate anymore. It's like crazy,
Who can?
right? There are some people
Oh,
who
I know
don't like
people who
chocolate.
can,
Yeah.
but I don't get it either.
It's, I'll just politely say there's something wrong, slightly, with people who don't like chocolate.
Yeah.
It is.
In some
I'm
form,
gonna call.
you know.
I'm gonna call out my mod here. So
Ah.
if he's watching this, he's gonna come for me. I know when he's watched this, he's gonna come for me. He's from India. He does not like chocolate, but he has got another friend from the Netherlands that actually went to visit him, and he brought this Dutch chocolate bar called Koetjesreep. And it's, I'm kid
Bless
you
you.
not, that's like the most artificial flavored bunch of crap that you can give to a kid, bunch full of sugar, but no adult person will fucking like that. It's disgusting. And so he told me that story, and I was like, you don't like chocolate, but you like koekjesreep, you're out of your mind. And I eventually managed to get my hands on this bar, and I sent it to him. But I left a package for myself, and I had a taste. And yep, it was still as disgusting as I remember it to be. And I'm like, how you hate your children if you're giving this to them. And he tried it when it arrived, and in the end, he was so over the moon because he said it was just as good as he remembered. And I'm like,
Damn.
I don't get it. But I'm happy that he's happy with it.
I'll tell you, I'll probably rather eat that chocolate than try to pronounce it though.
Yes.
Koetjesreep.
Yes, we agree.
Bless you.
Exactly. Okay. I see
Yeah, we went on a
something.
tangent here.
But it's
Sorry.
awesome. It's awesome. It's already good. I'm already enjoying this so much. Mixer. That's something I haven't read in a while or heard about.
Yeah.
So I see that Esu brought up that you are a former Mixer partner. So for those who don't
Yes.
know, Mixer came out of nowhere, and I don't want to say it took streaming world by storm, but it became a thing almost overnight. It was Microsoft's blue, so to say, platform to counter YouTube's red and Twitch's purple. And if I remember correctly, the biggest name that switched to Mixer was Ninja, but I think
Yeah.
Shroud also did, if I remember correctly, who now,
Yeah.
if I'm not wrong, is the biggest streamer on Twitch.
Yeah, Shroud and King Gathalion as well.
There you go. So some big movement at the time. It was crazy. I actually believed finally Twitch has, something to fight for. I'm always up, just like with ED and Star Citizen and Eve. I firmly believe every platform needs, a counter platform so that everything can be in some kind of order.
Yeah.
Did you move to Mixer? Did you start on Mixer? I'm so curious about this. Like, what happened? How
I
was
actually
your
started on
experience?
Mixer. Well, Beam as it was when I very first started. It was an Elite Dangerous event, and some people said they were streaming it. So I thought, oh, I'm going to have a go at that. And so I streamed that for one evening on Beam. Then a couple of months later, it changed to Mixer, and I thought I'd give it another go, and it went from there.
So, if I remember correctly, one of the most powerful tools that Mixer had, opposite to the other platforms, was the ease of streaming from like consoles, like Xbox,
Yeah.
for example. Was that part of your streaming there, or did you just stream
It-
on PC?
I started streaming direct from the Xbox. That's one of the reasons why I chose that platform, because of the fact that I didn't have a PC that I could use.
Got it. That makes sense.
All I had was that, and You could just press a button and go live.
It was super easy, right? Like the whole chat and everything was already pre-set up and everything.
Yeah, it was already there on the
So
screen.
smart, because this console market is there's a lot of people who don't know, but like there's more console players in the world than PC gamers, like by a lot. We're talking huge numbers. So at the time, this was like, nowadays it's kind of, there's more ease of access to capture cards and whatnot, but still streaming from console is not as easy as streaming, just like the games you're playing on PC. And Mixer was there ahead of time with this technology that was, I assume, worked good. You can tell us. I've never streamed Mixer. I watched some streams, but I never streamed on Mixer ever. So how was the
You
experience?
couldn't tell the difference between streaming from console and streaming through a capture card. It looked just as good both ways. And the being there, it was very much family orientated. So it was almost like everybody knew everybody on the platform.
You're talking only about the beginning, or like all the way through? And are
All
we
the
talking
way
about like
through.
the like one category, or like I have no
Everything.
clue how networking was working there.
I mean, I went into one of the biggest streamers at the time, and I didn't think he'd know me from Adam, but he recognized my name when I said hello.
Huh.
So, to hear him saying, "Oh, I know your name. I've heard you're going somewhere," and that made me feel good.
That's
That
actually amazing.
was when I was just over 100 followers on there. So I was still tiny at that point.
We just don't have that. Like the best case scenario for us on Twitch, right? Well, you as well now, right? Is if someone within the category that you're commonly streaming recognizes you. So you would have to do a lot of networking to get noticed, right? So see, that was interesting. I wonder if Microsoft actually tried to somehow connect people on their own and whatnot. I'm not gonna lie, when because for those who don't know, Mixer is not a thing anymore at all. It doesn't exist for quite a few years now, and I was very sad that that happened.
22nd of June 2020.
3 years already. Holy crap. Where's time going?
They shut down on my birthday.
Oh, that's why I
you'll
remember.
never forget it.
Yeah.
Such a sad day. I remember we had like people streaming on Twitch with having like Mixer refugee,
That's what I did for the first month.
Yeah. It was
'Cause
so sad.
when Mixer went down, you switched to Twitch, I assume, or were you already active on Twitch as well?
I was partially active on Twitch. Although I'd streamed on Twitch a couple of times, there was never any traction there.
Yeah, because discoveries.
It's completely
Terrible
What's that
different
then?
beast. Yeah, exactly.
But wasn't there? I don't remember because it's been 3
Facebook.
years. But I remember that if you were like, obviously people were upset they were Mixer partner and that they had to start from scratch on Twitch, and there were concerns about it. Wasn't there for a while that Twitch was promising to help out these people in their growth or something
It
along
was
those
Facebook,
lines?
I think Facebook offered like 1-for-1 partnership or something. Correct me if I'm wrong.
If you were a large partner, 10K plus followers, then they looked into offering you a partnership.
Oh, they looked into it.
Yeah.
Not even.
Yeah, I was on 8.7 followers, something like that. So when I requested partnership, they said, "Nah, mate, bugger off."
Damn. Twitch can be very brutal with this.
Yeah.
Very, very brutal to this day.
Warframe did help me out though. At the end of that first week, they did an impromptu dev stream, and still to this day, I'm the only person who's been raided from a dev stream by Warframe. And I started off with something like 35 followers. And by the end of the first week, I was on 4,000.
That is crazy.
Because they raided me with something like 17,000 people.
God damn.
Holy damn.
Okay,
I
this
remember the other night you were like already ecstatic. Was it 600 or 6K? I remember it
600 there was.
600, yeah. But you had 17,000!
Yeah.
How are you? How did you recover from that?
I panicked.
I would have a fucking panic attack right away.
see, this is I really want to talk about this in general because first of all, what they did to you until recently, I was a person who was doing that on weekly basis to streamers who stream the game that I'm streaming now, which is World of Warships, because I used to be part of the community team of the game.
Yeah.
I think in terms of numbers, relatively similar, kind of audience and whatnot. Warframe, a great game with insane community feel to it, and devs very open to community input, more than in most like AAA games and whatnot. I know there's some issues and whatnot, but like in general, they do have a connection with their community and their content creators, which is amazing. So I know how it feels from the other side to like just drop 10,000 people after 2 hour stream on someone. It's actually crazy. It creates such chaos. It's insane.
Last week, Warframe helped with dropping in 1,500 people.
So were they announcing something? How often do they stream though?
Warframe streams once a week, but it's something special going on through October, which is the quest to conquer cancer. And whoever is being featured, Warframe just blows them up. Not literally, obviously, that would be against the law. But
helps with their own platform, right?
Yeah.
So that's a similar thing, kind of, because World of Warships also streams once a week in English, and then after a stream, they will host one of their partner streamers, which there's a lot. So not all of them can get a raid within a year. So it's a big thing when it happens. But I've seen something that blew my mind. So I went through your Twitch numbers a little bit just to know, who, and this is like second nature to me because I was in charge of partner program for World of Warships for Europe, right? So it's my second nature to check streams, all the background and everything. It's easy for me to like familiarize myself with numbers and everything. And you're doing something that I would love to do, but I am very scared of doing. And I know both me and Esu used to do that before. Esu is still doing it, and I'm still scared of doing it again. And that is, for lack of a better term, not giving a shit. Because I see you stream Warframe whenever there's a reason for it or whenever you feel like doing it. And then the other days a week, you'll just stream whatever game you feel like streaming, regardless of the number of the views that you have in your channel.
Yeah. I play what I feel like playing.
How does that... I have two like big questions here. One is, how does that affect your community, like your core community? And I would break even that into two, like, because probably your core community is there no matter what, like, doesn't matter which game. And then you have like a little bit of extra from most of the games you play. And then when you stream Warframe, obviously you're going to have insane numbers because you are like one of the big streamers of Warframe. But then the other part of that question is, how does your core community feel when you get these big rates? Are they active? Do they react at all? Because I had similar situations where I would be rated by big streamers because they know me, we used to work together, or even World of Warships themselves. And most often than not, because I think I sit now at average of like 100-ish, like 90 people or whatever, and I have extremely active chat. I'm lucky enough, blessed, whatever. I'm not really religious or anything, but somehow I've always, even when I stream for like 10 people, I have very, very active chat. But whenever I get dropped by these big numbers, usually my regular community kind of like shuts down when it comes to chat activity. And I wonder if you have like similar experience, or how does it work for you?
I found that my core community with these big streams, they start to get involved, and if I miss something, then they'll answer anything that I've missed.
So helpful, very helpful.
Yeah,
Sounds really awesome. Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
yeah. I mean, it's why I enjoy doing what I do, because of the interaction and the fact that people do talk to each other, even talking to new people, which means that new people stay.
Absolutely, because they get the feel of being welcomed, and that's a huge thing when it comes to streaming.
Yeah.
Okay, so the other question I had was, how do you deal with these numbers going up and down so drastically? This is something that a lot of us say, don't worry about the numbers, don't look at this, don't look. But at the end of the day, you look at your stream numbers and you have some feelings towards it, because this stream is something you've built, right? So to see everything go green feels good. To see everything goes red, to me, I struggle with this. Like, I want to say I don't. I want to say I don't care. But the reality is I really do. In the end, I do care, and it gets to me. I wonder, how are you dealing with this?
I used to. When I was on Mixer, I had between 30 and 70 people in every stream.
Very respectable numbers.
When I moved to Twitch, I started around 40, but as people see that Twitch is much bigger, they kind of separate off. It's like going from a first school to a secondary school, where everybody goes off and finds new friends, and you're left there with a lot less people. And at first I was, why am I doing this? There's so few people here. There's between 5 and 10 people here. Why do I even bother? And then after a little while, it's a case of, but then 5 to 10 people are here every time.
Because of you.
Those 5 to 10 people are the most important people, because they keep coming back no matter what I do. So even if it's only those in there, I'm happy. Yeah, I'd like more, but that's
some very deep through that hits me.
But it's difficult, right? It's like
it can be, yeah.
I mean, that's all I want as well, right? I want my core to be there. And when I see people like, I don't know, I was so lucky that I got the numbers up again. And I don't know if you know Esu, but my mod, Delicia, who I love, she's the best. She's the most important person in my chat. I finally got Twitch to give her a lifetime subscription.
Oh, wow.
And like, to get to these moments, but that's what I'm with you. I'm happy they're there. But then, and during my stream, even if there's like 10 people, I don't care. I'm like full of energy, unless I have some problems that are not really, like, if I get frustrated on a stream, usually it's not the stream that is frustrating me, or the game. It's something else. It's something that happened before, or in my personal life or whatever, and it gets to me. But I'm full of energy for 10 or for 1,000. I don't have the live number on. But then when I'm done and I prep my dinner and I hope to Esu stream and I'm checking my numbers and I see everything in red, man, it bums me. It's to this day, and I've been streaming for like 6-7 years now. It still gets to me, man. Like,
yeah,
I because I have no one else to blame. I don't know how you two deal with this, but like, I just struggle with, like, I know I always take responsibility for this, and I'm like, what did I do? And
the thing is, you've done nothing. It's, as I say, it's the way that people just move away.
And it doesn't mean they hate you or they don't like your streams. It just, especially if you change your games, it's normal.
Yeah. Yeah, they've
It is
just
normal. I
picked
try
it up somewhere
to,
else.
yeah, I try to deal with it the way Toe does, but it does still get to me from time to time because I've been like streaming for a little over 5 years now, and to this day, I am still on an average between 15 and 20 viewers, and it's just not growing
Mm,
no matter what. It will go up slightly for a short period of time, but then it will go down again. And that's the part that gets to me, where I'm like, if it's been 5 years and I don't get past this border, but then at the end of the day, I do try to just think to myself, but I am 5 years in and I still have
yes.
an average of 15 to 20
Yeah.
viewers.
And it's
It
not only that,
hasn't
it's
gone
very active.
down. It
Like your
hasn't
community
gone
is
down.
super
People are
active as
still
well.
around,
Yeah.
And then if I'm not streaming for a day and people are like, oh, she's not streaming today. Oh, man, I'm bummed out now. Or I missed that. Oh, I like your streams. I'm sad now that you're not live.
Yeah.
It's those moments where I'm like, this is why I'm doing it. But it's really hard because, like you said, at the end of the day, even though you find ways to cope with it, the number game always tries to sneak in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wish I wasn't like that, but I can't. My defenses sometimes just break, and it really gets. By the way, I know when Esu doesn't stream, I know some of her regulars will show up and be like, I'm like, huh? I would like open another tab while I'm streaming and check. Oh, Esu's not live today.
Esu's always one of the first ones that I look for when I go on to Twitch.
Yeah.
Aww,
super tight community.
you.
I feel like Esu, your stream does not grow very fast, but you keep people. Like,
yes,
they are there.
I still don't know why.
because you're awesome. What do you mean?
Yeah,
it's super chill.
It's the way that you are. You're just so hyper and so much fun.
But at the same time, you are just yourself. It's like, I don't know. It's. I mean, I never left, really. I never left, really.
No, we're still here.
Yeah, exactly. So many years later, and I went through like extreme ups and downs and all that. But to me, two of us, we've been streaming together for roughly the same time. We started at the same time. I take you as equal. I don't like these numbers. See how crazy it is. Like, whenever I'm not looking at the exact number and seeing, green and red, I don't even care about this, like there's some, I don't even know the numbers. I know people that I stream with that have been around me or, still are or whatever. And I take them as my fellow streamers. But then when I'm looking at in the mirror with numbers, that's when it gets to me. It's like me against myself. And I want to take a pill, that just removes this portion of my brain. I don't ever want to worry about it again.
It's what I was always told you are your worst own enemy when it comes to streaming. You're the one who will criticize how you sound. You are the one who will criticize what you're doing wrong. You're the one who will criticize the reason for low numbers. But everybody else is there liking what you do.
Very true. But you don't have a boss.
No.
Unless you're in an org or something. I don't know. But
yeah, exactly.
There's no one to point finger at, right?
So one thing that's been on my mind this entire time is, but I think you already sort of answered it. So people from Mixer did move with you to Twitch.
Some of
them, and now some of them are still around in your community. That's really cool, because that's another thing. I feel like a lot of bigger content creators quite easily always talk about like branch out, be on different platforms, yada 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 yada, and to an extent, like, the more you are showing up everywhere, the more people can get around you. But at the same time, if you're like switching from one place to another, is really incredibly hard to get people to come with you, because what is in it for them other than just you?
Yeah. So it's one of the reasons why I said that I wasn't going to go to Trovo or D-Live or Kick or somewhere like that. That I've started over twice. I'm not going to do it again. It's hard to start from the beginning. And besides, I don't like some of the other platforms which I won't go into.
Yeah. I tried. I had some issues with Twitch. I don't know if you remember, but I even asked him
What
to like
YouTube?
partner me, and I tried both Trovo and YouTube. They never did, by the way. Um, and my core community did move to YouTube with me, but I constantly, and I wonder if you had this with Twitch because you couldn't go back to Mixer, but I constantly felt like, man, these people have their routine of going to Twitch, when their work starts or, when they start gaming or whatever. It's like part of their routine. And now they have to take extra step just for me to find my YouTube stream because YouTube streaming is ridiculously difficult
It
to get
is.
into, unfortunately, or throw or whatever. So they have to do like this extra step that is not does not come naturally to them, right? And I always felt like I'm making them work, and I decided it's just not worth it because in the end, who are you without your core community, right? So in order,
Yeah.
it was not even about the numbers at that time because I was having roughly the same averages, like maybe 20, 30, but they were they knew I'm in a rough place, and they were making sure that I can get through life, with relative ease.
Yeah.
They were helping me no matter the platform. But then I was like, man, I'm making them, I don't want to say suffer because in the end you just watch content, right? But in a way, go extra mile because I have a little bit of gripe with Twitch or, this or that. So I decided, you know what, I'm not going to do this. I'm just going to go back to Twitch, suck it up, and stay,
Yeah.
stay there. And that's where I was ever since. Never tried to do. So did you have the same feeling? I'm assuming also Mixer was probably also watchable from like Microsoft devices, so to say.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
So I guess
they
that
had
part you never get with you.
a whole tab on Xbox for
Yeah,
mixer
of
streamers.
course.
It's how a lot of the big streamers were found,
Yeah.
just by going over a tab and
So
finding
basically if you're
someone
playing
there.
a game, you will have like suggested streams in the background, or how does it work?
Yeah. Yeah. You would have these suggested
This
streams
is
on there.
so smart.
So smart.
PlayStation tries to do it, but it's just not as huge. But if they were to like collaborate with Twitch or YouTube, for example, on that, they could really blow it up.
They
So
could.
now it's just like if you have a game on PlayStation, you underneath it see videos that are made for it, but not all of them are specifically live. They're just recordings of people who are playing live. It's like a combination of everything. But it is a smart move.
It's so smart, especially for Microsoft that is such a multi-leveled platform, right?
Yeah.
It's crazy. I to this day I cannot believe this. Just shows you how streaming is not very lucrative for the provider if you're just trying to make money on streamers, and why advertisement on Twitch is such a big thing and
Yeah.
not really done too well. Why Kick is, succeeding by promoting something else, because that's, they're hoping to get new people to use their other services, which I also don't want
Yeah.
to talk about. But like, there's always there almost needs to be another way for a company to make money, because streaming servers, especially with the quality that we're using on Twitch, for example, it's expensive. Like
It is.
it's extremely expensive, and they're barely, like, if I'm streaming in 1080 60 frames for 70 people, they're not making money on my stream. They're like net negative. And I stream, 6 hours a day, 300 days a year. I'm literally bleeding them money. So, I mean, obviously it evens out with some much bigger streamers, right? But they do provide this it's crazy. And to think
Yeah.
that Microsoft could not find a way to, turn this into a profitable business, I just don't believe that anyone apart from YouTube will ever manage to stay long term. Or Amazon, that probably has to invest money into it every year. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, I understand that. I mean, Twitch has got Amazon as the backup.
But you
Yeah.
can tell by the decisions that have been made for Twitch that Amazon is pulling the strings pretty tight on them.
Oh yeah.
Because it's not making money. And Amazon is a
No.
huge business and very profitable business, right?
So
Which is why
like
they
the
wanted the
the
advert
whole
thing.
70-30 deal and that kind of stuff. You can literally see Amazon just standing behind there like, fine, keep them happy, but only at this limit because we're not giving you more.
Yeah.
I think one of the big changes for Twitch, I don't know if you've seen, I'm sure you did. We talked about that as well. I don't know how
Sorry,
much you
my
know
avatar
about.
seems to be having a bit of a seizure.
It's just,
It's okay. I just keep thinking you're stretching your
yeah,
back.
exactly. Yeah, because it's been like almost
Keeping
an
your
hour.
posture straight.
But we were talking last what was the one before? We were talking with Daphne about embedding and everything.
Oh yeah,
And then
which has been
addressed, kind of. I don't know.
addressed again by bigger creators and also by Twitch wanting to stop it, right?
CEO of, I actually watched several interviews with new CEO of Twitch, who by the way streams every now and again and finds time to do a little like on the go podcast format streams with big streamers, or like not the biggest streamers, but some of the very big streamers if you ask for it. So I watched Quinn, for example, talk to him, and amongst the other things, that was like almost 3 hour long interview, and they touched on this. This was way before we started talking about it on Discord, where he said that they know that there's a problem. It's a very difficult problem to tackle, but they are not happy with it. And now this evolved to like more of like, we don't want this. We need to find a solution for it and whatnot.
Yeah.
But I think this is part of it, because I think the advertisers are finally realizing that they're not getting their money. And therefore, I'm assuming that Twitch is losing advertisement space, and they need to make sure that, you know, the eyes are eyes, like they get their money's worth, kind of.
Which is why they wanted the like 25% screen per, or less. What's it? Less
Oh
than
yeah,
25%.
I forgot about that. Yeah, there was a whole new rule at the time I was working for.
Oh yeah, which cut down all the sponsorships and
Yeah.
everything. Where yeah.
I forgot about that completely.
Where you couldn't actually have a video at the start of your screen anymore. So, you know, some sponsorships would pay you to play like a 10 or 30-second video of their brand at the start of your stream. That would get you money, plus having the panel on your page and then per click, etc. And Twitch was just having this whole
We were actually in the middle of like, there were these
setup
interactive
against
ads.
that.
Like you would have like a Disney, I don't know, new animated interactive where a dragon flies behind you, and then, you know, like the whole thing with green screen and everything. It lasts like 20 seconds or whatever, but it would take like most of your stream. And we were making some for World of Warships, and then we just had to stop this because the rule was, you know, enforced, and didn't want to put any of our streamers at the time. I'm not working for them anymore, in a, you know, situation where they have to be worried about, you know, something being enforced to them when it comes to law and whatnot. But this was only affecting, by the way, certain countries. For example, in Serbia would be still able to do it because they cannot enforce this law, which is crazy. Only like some countries were affected by this. But then I think Twitch realized, I was like, no, just
they heard the backlash, so they backpedaled.
Yeah.
Yes, they backpedaled very hard.
Yeah. They've done a U-turn so fast they broke their axles.
I mean, something had to happen, and I was bitching about it for many, many years, as who knows. And I don't believe it until I see it. But it's good that it's being talked about more openly. Like only a month ago, when we were doing a podcast with Daphne, we were not sure if we are even allowed to talk about this, because it's like a gray area.
Yeah, very careful about it.
But now that all the big names are talking about it, now you just can, and it's good, because a lot of people don't understand what's going on, which is really sad.
Yeah.
I have a question that is more like personal in nature. I've read your, by the way, your channel looks great. I love it when people take care of their,
Thank you.
panels and everything. Everything's there. A lot of information that is, it always warms my heart when I scroll down. I go to, when I scroll down and I can get the information about the stream and streamer. And I noticed that your real life situation, which I'm not going to go into much, is such as you have, if I'm not wrong, 2 boys as well.
No, a boy and a girl.
A boy and a girl. Sorry, so 2 kids. Sorry, my bad.
I'd say a boy and a girl. They're 20, 25 and 27.
Okay.
But there'll forever be a boy and a girl.
Exactly.
We all know that.
Yeah, they'll always be my children.
Of course. Maybe that's how it's stated there. 2 children. And I am just curious if they are your support when it comes to streaming and playing games, if they're part of it, if they're interested in like gaming, and if they are into content creation. I'm not like asking for any specifics, just like more of, is this a thing that runs through family, or is it your thing?
My son streams on YouTube.
Okay.
I've been trying to get him to change to Twitch because he's not getting very far on YouTube. But that's because their algorithms are crap.
It's very difficult. YouTube is almost impossible, yeah.
The amount of times that I've said that I'm going to give up streaming because of this, that, or the next thing, and my daughter has come in and said, but why? Okay. And she sat down with me and talked to me and convinced me not to give up streaming. Because
that really warms my heart.
I was just about to say.
That really warms my heart to just hear that you have such a good support.
It's because it is my only way of keeping in contact with people. Because I can't get out of the house. It's my way of talking to people and making friends and such.
I read that. on in the info. I wanted to let you say it rather than me jumping into it. And when I read this, even now I'm emotional because this hits so hard for me, because the reason I started streaming is at some point I finally realized that I'm depressed. I'm from Serbia. I was lucky enough to travel the whole world basically and live in other places because I used to work on board cruise ships. Yeah. So I've like learned a lot about other cultures and realized that things are not always the way they look from our conservative corner of the world. And I realized I suffer from depression. There's very many reasons for this. It's very easily explained. And then I found myself living in this dark state of mind for about 6 weeks without talking to anyone. And I realized if I keep doing that, I will completely lose any kind of social connection to, other human beings. But whenever I would try, like, unlike you, I can go out, I can socialize. It's my brain that is a problem, that doesn't allow me to do that very often. Completely different, obviously, but at the same time, I'm sure you understand the whole premise.
It's not that different, really. It's just a disability that can't be seen.
True. Usually, I know a couple of people who have bought like the whole package, and because you get affected, of course, and everything. But the reason I started streaming is like I couldn't talk. I have a lot of friends who care about me. I have a loving family. They all care about me. But I got so tired of them trying to help me get through my difficult times and fail, which would be a vicious circle of then that hurting me because I can't help them help me and whatnot. It goes in circles. And I just needed people to talk about most random stuff that they don't know my background. They don't know my history. They don't know that I'm struggling with this. And sort of to just like have, any kind of social experience. So that's how I started. And nowadays, my core community knows every bit, of me. I'm very open about it. Like whenever I'm struggling, and they know how I cope with it. They know that I do believe firmly that everyone deals with it in a completely different way. I don't think there's a way of like this will help you with depression or whatever. But I share my stories and whatnot. But this gave me literally what you were talking about. So a chance to have social interaction in life which I almost lost completely.
Yeah.
It's just nice to. So literally, when I read your info, this is why I said I did pay attention to everything. I read that and yeah, I had a couple of tears there because I recognized a little bit different story, but like literally what happened to me. So
Yeah.
nice that you share that. Really, I'm sure that there are more people who read that and understand exactly where this is coming from, and
Yeah.
it hits real. Okay.
It really does. But I'm really happy to hear that you have got your children just standing right beside you and supporting you, and
they get it. They know.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, 'cause, several times over the past year, I've been in a bad place and just wanting to toss the towel in. And every time my daughter's sat there and said, "Take a day off.
So
Talk
smart.
to me."
It's so smart. It's probably easier from the outside, right? From the third perspective, because sometimes that's all you need. Because I take a day off and I'm stressed because the numbers again and whatnot. But if I had someone to tell me, hey, let's do something else today. Tomorrow, talk about it on stream. That's all it takes. But it's so important to have, and I don't have kids, so I cannot even imagine. But I'm not gonna pretend. But I hope. I imagine, my imagination tells me that it creates such a strong connection, and the fact that she understands is just mind blowing to me.
Yeah. I mean, the only time that she generally interrupts me during a stream is if she's found a spider in her room.
Well, that is completely fair. That's that's part of the deal.
Yep.
That comes with the package. I did want to come back to one thing before we are going to start ending. And you already mentioned it yourself. It's something that's very important to you. The conquest against cancer.
Yeah.
You are raising money. You've already, thanks to that Warframe shout outs, smashed a huge ass goal. Do you want to tell a bit more about it? I heard it's going throughout October. It's still October. It's still going from what we hear.
Yep, it's going until the end of October. Warframe's goal itself is 100,000 Canadian dollars. Last I heard, it was on 65,000.
It's the queue.
Yeah. She did not show up last episode. I asked, yes, is
you said the word
okay?
end. I'm coming.
Yep.
My own goal was $1,000, and we managed to reach that within 2 hours.
Oh, wow.
Of our stream last week.
Man, I did a couple of charities. I have one on pending now, which I don't feel like I can do it currently, mostly because of my mental state and where I am right now. But this is always such a scary thing for me, because if I have these goals have to be so smartly made, because I would feel that's where I would actually feel failure. If I can't, what if nothing happens? You always have this. Oh my God, it's so. But it's so worth it.
Last year, I put on a goal of $1,500, and I raised 157. But the reason for that is because I was actually on the Warframe channel last year, rather than having them sending people to me.
So, you still raised 175,
which is
on your own channel.
Yes.
So.
Yeah, I mean, I'm happy with the fact that I raised that. Which
is why
anything
helps, really.
Yeah.
But this time it's 1,000, and you are still raising until the end of the month. So if you are watching
Yes.
this before the end of October, please go hit the link in the description down below and support this amazing creator and an amazing cause, because we all know that cancer can go fucking piss off
Yep.
to the fucking wormhole and never return.
It's taken
I
too many members of my family already.
I could not agree more.
Yeah.
All the reason more to visit the channel, and yeah, support with, like, look, I always say take care of yourself first. I recently had a situation where someone spent money on the in-game item for me, and then 3 days later I figured out they're struggling with food for this month, and I keep telling people, guys, take care of your needs. Only
Exactly. We
support,
don't want people to starve
yes,
just
No.
so we can have a pretty shiny thing in game.
exactly.
Please.
Only support your content creators once you are safe. You know how in the airplane, if something goes wrong, you need to put the mask on yourself first and then person next to you or a child? This is exactly the same thing. Please
Yeah.
don't do this. However, if you can, if you have any, extra penny, extra dollar, extra euro that you can spend, and there's a charity like this going around, by all means do. There are people who need it more than, some other folks like us, for example. So
Yeah.
very happy to always share when there's any kind of charity, especially against cancer. In my community, I'm part of a stream team with a dear friend, Grumpy Beard, who is all about, hashtag fuck cancer. And I've had it in my family as well. My grandpa recently died from it. So like, I know it all too good. Everyone who's touched by it through a friend or knows it way too good. Cancer,
Yeah.
completely unnecessary thing in our lives. I really wish that was never a thing. The absolute evil. So everyone who's affected by it needs help. All of these charities are massive help, and anything helps.
Yeah.
Exactly. So even if you don't have a penny, just spread the word,
Yep.
be there, lurk, bump up the numbers a bit, get more exposure. It's all helpful.
It does.
So happy to hear that a game huge as Warframe is on board with this. That's what especially online games should be all about.
Yeah.
Very happy to hear that. I've only heard good things about Warframe in the past anyways. I mean, every game has its ups and downs with community, but like overall, there are two companies that always come out whenever we talk about how some companies are good and bad and whatnot. There are two companies that come out always, or two games rather. One is Warframe and the other one is Path of Exile with Triple G, and that they listen to their communities and are involved more than any other game. And it's always like other game communities pointing fingers, like, why can't you be like that? And this is one of the reasons. And they're free. Both of the games are free. Yeah.
Yeah.
True. Awesome. Okay. Unfortunately, I'm always bearer of these bad news when we get to the end. I obviously please check the links in the description as always. If you enjoyed it, drop a like and maybe subscribe. More importantly, do visit ItsJustToe on Twitch. Check them out. Obviously, an amazing. I'm assuming the very warm community as well, since we are all three together here. So that's always the reason. I would say if you feel good within community, that's always a reason to follow and check them out again. Any parting words from you, friend? I have to say, I said this before. You are the first VTuber that we have. Not the last. We already have some more folks scheduled. And when I saw your VTuber costume, I was mind blown, because I'm all about ships and pirates and whatnot. So I would say this one looks very much like a privateer or maybe a pirate. Blew my mind. I really like it. But apart from that, like, is there anything else you wanna add?
Be yourself. Everyone else is taken.
Ooh.
Very beautifully said.
Damn, that's a deep one, actually.
Yeah.
I did not expect this. It caught me off guard. I love it. I love it. That's so good.
Very, very well done. Toe,
Thank you
thank
for
you
having me.
again for joining.
Thank you for inviting me.
I was very, very happy to have you here.
Same.
I already got to know you through my chat. I've been checking out your streams, and I feel like even after this one, I know you even more now, and I'm very pleased to get to know you through this setting even more.
I mean,
And with that,
thank you, Esu, for exposing me to ItsJustToe. This is the best part for us because we bring people we don't know, and it's always. I mean, this one is no exception. Yeah. I'm just so happy to meet you, and
it's nice to meet you as well.
Absolutely, thank you so much for taking the time of your, schedule to come over here and be part of our podcast. I love it.
My pleasure.
All right. Until in about 2 weeks.
Yeah. Have a good one, everyone. Take care, and we'll see you around. Bye-bye.
The next time. Bye-bye. Yay!